Hi.
Okay, sorry.
Let me talk.
Okay.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to How Have We Never Seen This Before. This week, we watched Wonder Woman 1984.
Join us as we discuss how many plot lines there are, how confusing the rules of the stone are, and the ethics of a loved one inhabiting a rando's body.
How Have We Never Seen This Before is a podcast where two best friends watch iconic films and trending TV shows that they've never seen before.
Each week, we discuss a different movie or show from a zillennial perspective.
So,
Hi, guys.
hi. It's been a weird week in this country. You're getting this about a month, 3 weeks later. But it's been a weird week. And I found it, sorry to jump ahead real fast, but I found it very ironic that in this movie, they are in DC.
I know. It made me want to go to DC, but obviously not now.
Like 4 years ago when on a high school trip or something like that.
Remember when we went to DC on a high school trip?
I do. We have a picture of us. It's at school, so I can't show it, but we're kicking our legs up in front of the Washington Monument.
Iconic.
It's really great. I can't believe we did that. Not that it's that weird, but
That's embarrassing.
it's weird, but not that weird. I wear this hat. Anyway,
I don't fit in. I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
I was super self-conscious in 10th grade. I'm super self-conscious now. Why did I do that? I'm glad I have that memory with you. But
we used to do so much stuff. When we'd go to the mall and go into Hot Topic and wreak havoc.
Ew.
Good times.
Ew. Yeah. Also, we got season 3 artwork from my friend Mike today, or not. We didn't get it today. We got it earlier this week, and it's so cool. And you'll have already seen it, but I'm so excited for everyone to see it.
Yeah, he makes us look a lot cooler than we actually are, unfortunately.
I know.
I wish we could be that cool.
Yeah, but thanks, Mike. You're incredible, and I say that every time you send us artwork, and I'm like, wow.
We do not deserve him.
Yeah. But anyway, so we watched Wonder Woman 1984. Or I feel the way the movie's title is, it's World War 84. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's hope we don't get up there.
I don't ever want to get to 3.
I'm fine with just 2.
Since this is a sequel, there's not much to go over for characters or anything. There's Diana. She's Wonder Woman, obviously. And her boyfriend's name is Steve, correct?
Yeah.
Did they say gemologist?
Yeah.
Isn't there a more technical term that just doesn't sound right?
I don't know. Do you know who my favorite gemologist is?
Curio.
Isn't his name Archie or something?
Oh.
Archie, he has the curio shop in
a curio shop. Yeah.
He's my favorite guy. I love him.
Yeah. I achieved the Webkinz crown, I think, twice.
Great. Congratulations.
Really big accomplishment for me. But anyway, yeah. So we also have Max Lord is the other kind of main character. He's the villain, sort of.
Yeah. Do you know who the villains are actually in this?
Everyone?
No. Kristen Wiig and Gil Gadot. Is that how you say it? Gal Gadot. Yeah, whatever.
Gil?
I'm sorry, but they are the villains for their crime against humanity. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Do you not recall at the beginning of lockdown, the first one?
Oh,
when they sang Imagine.
I forgot. Wow, that was like 10 months ago now, I guess.
Yeah, I will never forget it.
That's insane. Wow.
These people
Um
do not deserve our support.
so I guess they like finished filming this 10 months ago.
I don't care when they filmed it. They just should never have made Imagine.
I never watched it, so like I didn't know who was in it except for her, for Gal, because I knew that she started it for some reason. um, but anyway, we should get into the movie
Yeah,
because
sorry.
we always ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble.
Sorry.
Yes. So this movie again, just like the last one, starts with her as like a child, and I don't know. I didn't have like problems with this movie. I just didn't get into it the way I wanted to. And like it started like at this very first part. Like I just don't get the point of it besides like showing off all these beautiful women.
Yeah, I was wondering like the speech that her mom gives her, like when that comes into play.
Yeah.
Like, because this whole scene, like, okay, this movie was over 2.5 hours long. This scene did not need to be in it. It
Mm-mm.
was like a multi-million-dollar scene. It did not need to be in it. It could have saved them so much money.
I know. Oh, well, I guess okay, so the one thing at the very end of this scene, I think it's like the trainer. I don't like know what exactly. Is she the sister of the queen or like
I
the
thought they were
main
married.
I I don't know. I mean, maybe they are. But like she says to, or maybe it's the mom. I don't know. She says to Diana
Someone.
that no true hero comes from lies, which like I guess is supposed to be the message, but there's no like lies, you know? Like
Yeah.
yeah, there's deceit, but there's not lies. And he's not
Everyone was
trying to
pretty
be a
upfront.
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty upfront with his intentions of being a villain.
Yeah, so that's why I was what was the point?
I don't know. But you do have to give the actress that plays her as a child some props, because apparently like she did all of her stunts herself. Like the actual ones that were not like animated were her.
Like what, like riding on a horse?
Yeah.
Hmm, okay.
Galloping that fast through some different terrains takes a lot of
Mm,
skill.
going down a slide.
Wee.
um, but yeah, I just like did not get that part, which I feel like they thought it was cool. But yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
it was cool, but like I was it it was unnecessary, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so then like this part never matters again. So just moving on. Now we're in the 1980s, and it's very obvious from all the clothes. And we kind of just see Diana sort of anonymously saving people throughout DC, and I don't know why. Like why does she want to be anonymous? Like or like I don't know, because they know that she's there. I don't know. I don't know. She's always like shh, and like it's a secret. And it's like we get it. We get
Yeah.
it.
She tries to be like so low key about it, but she wears that outfit every time she saves someone.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, why do you have to dress up to save someone? Why do you have to put on less clothes to put yourself in danger?
And like if you really wanted to be anonymous, you could be like Spider-Man.
Yeah, where's the mask? No
Yeah.
mask in this pandemic?
Yeah. It's just like I don't know. It's just like why bother trying? Like you know what I mean? Like why would you do that if it's pretty obvious anyway?
I think maybe she doesn't like the attention, like because like part of being like a true hero is not being
No, I get that,
like
but just
out there
cover your
about it.
face.
Maybe she's an anti-masker.
I feel like she's not, but like she is.
No, she would definitely be an anti-masker.
Oh, but so her next anonymous adventure is there's a jewelry store robbery in this giant mall, and these men, they don't want jewelry, they want to steal the antiquities that they're like doing backdoor deals with. And she does this thing with this little girl where she like saves a girl and then they like wink at each other, and it's supposed to be like, I feel like it's supposed to be that superhero moment, you know, when like Captain America like walks up to the little boy and it's like, wow, I could be you. And it's just like not like that at all. It's like
Yeah.
cheesy in a bad way.
Also, if I were that little girl, I would literally tell everyone I know. I'm sorry.
Right?
I'm sorry, Wonder Woman, but I'd spill the beans.
Yeah. And like, how did like no one else in that mall describe her to the police?
Mm-hmm. Like they all saw her. Also, why is she wearing heels?
I don't, yes. That's like, why is Wonder Woman's outfit healed? You know?
Why is it nothing? Like,
Yeah.
why is her outfit like? How is that supposed to protect her?
Like, even her second outfit that comes later, like, that's also healed. And also just very, like
Cinched,
waist trainer esque.
Yeah, like why do you have to like cinch her waist in? Like she's saving the world.
Maybe have some like padding on there
Also,
or
I'm
something.
sorry, but like when she like lifts her arms up and she's wearing a strapless metal
Yeah.
shirt,
Yeah.
the girls are out to play.
um Also in this scene, there's a huge JCPenney product placement. It's the only thing you see behind her this entire mall fight scene. And like, I get it, JCPenney, it's been a rough year, but you've been like going downhill for a while, I think. And this wasn't like the place to do the product placement, at least
Especially
for me.
especially when it's like the 80s. Like you don't want to
Yeah.
be thought of like in that time period.
Yeah. Was like, I don't know, like, I just think of JCPenney. Like recently I saw a TikTok of someone like they went to JCPenney and did a photo shoot.
I saw those, yeah. We should do
Yeah.
that.
I feel like that would be fun. So like maybe it's
Damn
coming
it.
back. You
Their
got us.
their advertising worked.
um
Oh, but while all of this is happening, in the background, you have like this business guy. He does like he's like the one of the main villains. His name is Max Lord. He's the owner of Black, what is it? Black Gold.
Black gold, yes.
Black
They
Gold
sell
Company.
oil.
Yeah, so they sell oil and he's basically giving this like motivational speech to invest in his company. So that's important to note.
Yeah. And honestly, like once this kind of scene ends, it just kind of like cuts to Diana in her apartment, and it's like, well, okay. Moving on from her crime, but she is Spider-Man without the mask. Because she's got like the normal job. Oh, maybe that's
Clark Kent.
no, that's a yep, that's the other one. I guess all DC comics are the same.
Yeah, and she wears glasses to because that completely changes your identity, you know.
Yeah. And we see that she's like still in love with Steve. She's got like pictures of him all over her apartment, and like got his watch, which I guess was like significant in the first movie, but I just don't remember it.
Yeah, neither do I. I honestly do not remember the first movie at all. I could not tell you the plot of it.
The first movie I think was better.
So now we are at the Smithsonian Museum in DC, and Barbara Kristen Wiig is beginning her new job at the Smithsonian, and Wonder Woman actually works there too. And we immediately find out through the classic dropping papers and them flying everywhere that Kristen Wiig is clumsy and has no friends. Yep. So that happens. She briefly like talks to Diana, um, and they seem to be like kind of vibing, but you know, it's a good time. And then the FBI comes through, and drops off some of the artifacts from the jewelers the other day, for them to study. And so Barbara and Diana are looking at the artifacts together. They stumble upon this one stone looking thing, and it's thought to be like worth only $75. But they look at it even further, and this guy comes up and asks, like, says he wishes he had coffee, and immediately a coffee shows up. And so they're thinking, like, interesting. But then they leave it at the lab and decide to get dinner together. And so they're vibing and becoming good friends. And then Barbara is walking home from dinner at the park, and gets attacked. And Wonder Woman saves her. And then instead of going home, she goes back to the lab and wishes on that magic stone that she could be just like Diana. She wakes up the next day at work and her wish actually came true. And she's like instantly like cool, powerful, like a little bit stronger, but we don't get that until like her powers haven't like fully developed yet.
And earlier when they were first holding the crystal, Diana like thinks about what she would want her wish to be, and you don't know what it is, but you know what it is. It's like she wishes that Steve were still with her. And there's kind of this like whoosh whenever you make a wish, a wish. And that also happens with Barbara. And hers is, I feel like hers is a lot more instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden she like when she wakes up the next morning, she just like this sounds weird, but like she takes her skirt off, she has like leggings underneath, and she like instantly does the off the shoulder 80s like thing with her sweater. But for other people, I feel like sometimes I feel like it goes really fast, but I feel like for Diana, for some reason it took longer, maybe because she didn't say it out loud.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's also like kind of dumb because like imagine someone you can grant someone a wish and they say, I wish I could be just like Diana. Wouldn't you make them a literal like copy of Diana? Like how do they know exactly the type of thing that they're looking for?
I feel like she might have like listed a few things about her in particular, and then it kind of took that to the extreme because she's an all-powerful what is she? Is she like a goddess?
I think she's just like an Amazonian woman.
Okay.
I think they're all the same, right? Like they all have the same powers.
But I thought she was special.
I don't remember.
But she like wasn't really her daughter. It was more like an Athena kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just thinking of a Fairly Odd Parents situation where like the wishes could get like. Do you ever watch that show?
No.
Did you ever watch that show as a kid?
No.
Sorry, I have to hang up. This podcast is over. Okay, well, I don't know. Sometimes they take the wishes too literally and say like, say you wish for an unlimited supply of Tim Tams. Say that. And like all of a sudden you're like literally drowning in Tim Tams, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't see how this would ever work because like how does the magic stone know exactly what you're wishing for?
I guess it makes more sense when later on it's a person and like people can kind of understand what people want more than like a stone could. Moving on.
Yeah, okay, let's move on.
So after Barbara's like a little bit more like Diana, that same day she meets the guy who was on TV earlier, Mr. Lord. He's says that he's going to be donating a lot of money to the museum because he wants to. There wasn't like any like real reason behind it. But basically he just wants the crystal. And he's kind of just hanging out with Barbara and being nice to her because he wants the crystal. And I like, again, like, how did he get in there and like all of a sudden be invited into the Smithsonian? Like, there's a lot that goes on in fundraising, especially for places like that, where you have to create formal documents. Like, this jewelry heist happened yesterday.
Yeah.
How would he have known that that's what was going to happen?
So do you think that he hired those people to rob that place to begin with?
I guess it's possible, but
why didn't they explain
he wouldn't have known that they would have screwed up, because the guy like drops a gun and then all this like chaos happens.
Yeah.
So it's not like he would have known that they would have screwed up and everybody would have been caught.
Yeah. I mean, like, maybe he just was like, okay, I'm hiring this team to rob them. They get robbed. They themselves the robbers get robbed by the FBI and it fails. And so the next day he's like, I guess I have to go give the Smithsonian $1 million so I can like, have my dreamstone.
How would he know that it's going to go to the Smithsonian? How would he know like that the FBI is going to get involved?
I mean, like, the FBI obviously would get involved in
but why would they give it to the Smithsonian like right away?
Maybe he has an in there.
But like maybe there's like it's evidence, like they would need it, right?
Dude, this is the most logical answer we can come up with.
Because they're stolen, they would want to return them. You know, they just like tracked where they were from, like wherever they had taken them from.
You think the United States government returns artifacts to where they belong?
But they were stolen. Are you kidding me? Even if like private collectors had them, like they would have like had documentation, I think.
You're seriously overestimating the US government.
You're right. You're right. Anyway, we're like getting way. We're gonna be talking about this forever. Okay, moving on.
Let's move on. Yeah. So Mr. Lord then goes to his office, and you soon find out that like he has this huge building, and on the outside it looks really grand, but on the inside it's abandoned and deserted. And that's actually because his company is broke, because the oil industry is maintained by like just a few companies. All of his investors were actually a part of a Ponzi scheme. So it didn't work out and all the investors are pulling out. And so his life has fallen apart. And his office is abandoned. He does have an adorable son though, named Alistair.
Yeah.
Okay. His adorable son is named Alistair. He's a sweetheart. But then he hatches up an evil scheme to make everyone proud of him and to be successful. And he decides to like make sure that the museum is having this party so he can steal the dreamstone.
Yeah. And like Barbara's really excited for this party. She like dresses like she's really like embracing her new found confidence, I guess. Why couldn't she just like wish for confidence?
She literally looks the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And like she just like dresses really nice because she likes Mr. Lord because he's just like paying attention to her, to be honest. And he kind of manipulates her into getting out of the party and going to her office to have a good time,
to do some smooching behind closed doors.
But instead he like, I guess they probably do something, but we just see him like grab the crystal from her desk and like hold it behind his back. Like that would have been uncomfortable doing that the whole time. But
The whole time during sex, you just holding a crystal behind your back.
I mean, like what else would have happened, you know?
Like who just like there's one hand free, that's it.
But like the whole time while they're off doing whatever they're doing, this guy shows up at the party and tries to approach Diana, and she's like, "Get away from me. Like, who are you? Like, I don't even know you." But it's actually Steve, but it's not Steve, it's this random guy. To explain it in a better way, we are seeing Steve from Diana's eyes the entire rest of the movie, but everyone else in the movie is seeing him as the person he actually is. Yeah.
That kind of, this is something that I feel like we need to talk about, because Steve is basically operating this random man's body, right? This man had a life. We know that because he had an apartment, it's like filled with stuff. Like this man has a life. And so where does his soul go? Like that man's soul.
Yeah, does he just like black out for the week or so that Steve's inhabiting his body?
Yeah, that's my first question. Second of all, that leads, like, there's apparently like some controversy surrounding this plot in the movie because of like consent, because it's this man's body but it's Steve operating it, and they obviously like they have sex, so like this poor man is like unconscious and his body is like being put through that.
I don't know.
Like it's an ethical dilemma. I know you're talking about ethical dilemmas in your classes.
I don't know, because like obviously this would never happen, but like I guess like for all intents and purposes, it is Steve. Like that guy's just like not there.
Okay, yeah, but picture this. You black out for a week, you wake up, you find out that the person inhabited your body has been doing heroin. Like what would you be upset?
Yeah, but like you wouldn't know that someone's been inhabiting your body. So like it's like you just did heroin for a week.
Yeah, then that would make me feel
bad.
even worse.
Yeah, but like Steve's dead, so he doesn't.
His soul is still around, it seems.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm really not sure because.
And also, in this universe, there's no heaven because Steve, when he dies, just blacks out. There's nothing. He didn't go to heaven.
That's true.
Which is also so depressing.
So this guy is just kind of in limbo, I guess.
That is like.
Did he die for a week?
I'm having like anxiety right now.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I personally think that it was wrong, but also at the same time, how could she have known that that's how it would happen? Why couldn't they have just brought his like body back?
I don't know.
Like obviously in this universe magic exists, so why couldn't they have done it that way? Like it wouldn't be the craziest thing to happen.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that would be an interesting thing to bring up.
It's not like, so we also see this guy at the very end of the movie, and it's not like he's like even remembers that he was missing for a week. You know, like it's clear that he's fine.
I mean, how many times do you put a smile on your face when you're actually feeling sad?
Okay, like clearly they didn't think this far ahead.
Yeah, this was an extreme oversight on their end.
No, like, but
I
it's
think it
not.
was.
But it's not because it's not that deep.
Did they not think that two dumb bitches would analyze it? Like, think about how, like, we are not the brightest people when it comes to analyzing films, and we pointed that out.
You pointed it out.
Okay, and I'm even dumber. So my pea brain thought of that. So obviously someone with big brain energy thought of that.
I don't know. We need to move on.
We need to move along here. Okay, so that dude steals the magic stone, right? And then Chris Pine, aka Steve, is back. He's wowed by everything in the future. And at the same time, Barbara, her super strength is developing more and more, and we see her at the gym lifting like extremely heavy weights, and all the gym bros are like, wow, and impressed by her. And then I didn't get this at first because maybe I wasn't paying attention, but Max then wishes to become the Dreamstone itself. So like,
oh, you didn't get that?
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
And so see, like, imagine I wish to become the Dreamstone. Wouldn't I turn into a stone?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking, you know, the end of Aladdin where he wishes to become the most powerful thing on earth or wherever they are, you know? Like
Yeah.
Jafar does, and then he becomes the genie. He doesn't like gain all the power, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like that's like the opposite. Like it takes it very literally. But at the same time, like it was the genie, so the genie kind of could interpret things in a different way.
Yeah.
Like he had a mind and
How is a
like,
rock supposed to interpret something?
yeah.
I don't
I
get
don't
it.
know. I don't
It
know.
doesn't make any sense.
And how did he know to wish for that?
See?
Like, how did he know that he could take things? Because obviously, like, no one else, everyone else, every other civilization that had the stone collapsed. So obviously, they couldn't figure that out.
Mm-hmm. And why would he look at that and be like, oh, every other civilization collapsed, like, including the successful ones because of this stone? Okay, I got it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This whole movie is just like
It doesn't make
a ball
any
of confusion. Yeah. So it's the next day, and while all of this is happening, Diana and Steve are having their little Barbie and Ken moment from Toy Story 3, where he's dressing up in all these clothes, and she's like, "Oh, I really like that one." He's like, "No, not this one." Have you ever seen Toy Story 3?
Yeah, I've only seen it once though because I had an emotional breakdown during it.
Well, I think most people will know what I'm talking about. But Mr. Lord has like started making his own.
Why do you call him Mr. Lord?
Fine, Lord. What else do you want me to call him?
Maybe Max.
Max. I wrote Lord in all of this because I forgot his first name.
Oh.
So like at the same time, Max is at his office and has like started getting all these calls about his business because he somehow got someone to wish for his business. Like he like, what did he wish? Like
That dude was like,
he goes to his previous investor and is like, "Don't you wish for this?" And he's like, "Sure, I wish for this." And then that happens, and he takes the thing he takes is like to get him out of the way or something. I didn't really understand how that part worked either.
yeah, so like in this, like every time someone wishes for something, it comes at a cost. And so one of his investors wished for the business to be successful, but the cost was that he no longer controlled it and Max controlled it.
Yeah. And so things are kind of falling apart in the world, like slowly unraveling, and Diana's trying to figure out why, and she finds out that Max took the stone from Barbara. Like she tells him like, oh yeah, I just like lent it to him. Like, what's wrong with that? So Diana goes to his office building and it's completely mobbed with people all trying to get in on this business because that's what he wished for. And so she kind of goes through his office and we see that her to get into the office she had to rip the like lock off a door and it was kind of hard for her to do it. So like you're kind of getting the idea that her cost for having Steve is that her powers are going away. Um, and so we find out that he's been researching the stone, like we said before. And she finds the base of the stone, like somehow that part didn't like disintegrate. And on the inside of the base for the stone, she says has the language of the gods on it. And this is when I was like, I'm so done with this because they're just like, okay, since you don't remember the first movie, you're like, what is this? So in the first movie, like the whole point was that Ares is the one who like it's the other god who like is making everyone do this. And I feel like in this it was just like, oh, it's the god of what is like deceit or trickery or whatever is making.
Yeah, it's like Doros or something.
Yeah, like it's this god that's making everything
Oh,
fall apart.
Dolos, not Doros.
But like I felt like they were just like taking something from the last movie and dragging it on.
I just think that I mean, like, I get that, like, a lot of these movies specifically are centered around, like, mythology and gods and stuff. So, like, that part didn't bother me. It was just the
Everything
rest of
else.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So after they figure out that Max is going to Cairo to do some business with some oil people over there, she is in Diana and Steve decide to fly to Cairo to foil Max's plan. And they do the dumbest thing ever by taking off illegally, stealing a plane. And then she's like, oh, let me just make it invisible. Bam, her problem solved.
And it's the only time they mention it. She's like, oh, you know what? I've been trying this. I made a coffee cup invisible. Let me try an entire plane. And never again in the rest of the movie is it mentioned.
Yep, they just stole a plane. Like,
and
thanks
also,
a lot.
Like, how is the plane like taken off of radar? Like, I get that they can't see it, but obviously it's still a plane. It would still be on radar.
Yep, that doesn't make sense. Why didn't they just get on a flight to Cairo?
I don't know. Because they could have they did it the other way back.
Yeah.
Or maybe they still have the plane. I don't know.
But how would they find it? It's like the invisible boatmobile from SpongeBob. How do they find it?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, you're making me angry. So yeah, she just makes the plane invisible and all her problems are solved and boom, they're in Cairo. And at the same time, Kristen Wiig is turning evil now. And she beats up some guy who attacked her at the beginning of the movie, which is like, okay, understandable. But she was mean to her friend, her homeless friend who she like gives food to.
Yeah.
She was mean to him, so I was sad. I felt bad for him. He was a nice guy.
Yeah. Okay. So then Max we find out what he's doing in Cairo and basically he's meeting with this man who kind of controls all of the oil in Egypt pretty much. And he says like, what is your wish? And his wish is that he gets all his land back, like that's like ancestrally his. So he grants him that wish and then takes his security team because he tries to take his oil, but there's something like he can't take it for some reason, so he takes the security team instead.
Oh, because he sold all of his oil to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. I missed that. So yeah, that's why he can't take it. So then he's like traveling to the next closest place that has oil. And Diana and Steve are trying to stop him. And we see that Diana's like not as powerful as before, like even more so than previously because she actually gets shot. And she tries to like save these kids, and then she like lets go of her rope and they fall.
That part was so funny.
And like it looks bad. And like
the kids go flying.
The kids go flying, and then she's like, shh, it's a secret. And it's like why? Yeah. Oh, and there's this giant wall that's built miraculously, so people can't travel through. Because the other part of his wish was that other people can't get into his land anymore.
Yeah, the wall is blocking off the water supply to like most of the people in the city.
Yeah, but then so the last thing they do in Cairo is Diana calls Barbara because she's been doing some research for her, and Barbara says like, I found this shaman, and I'm going to meet him tomorrow, and he's going to tell us like a little bit about this crystal. And she's like, all right, cool, I'll meet you there. So they fly back from Cairo to DC to be there the next morning, which is just, I don't know. I guess it's somehow possible, but
do they even have passports?
Very difficult. No, they don't have passports. That's why they stole the plane.
Yeah, but how do they take the plane back? They never told us.
Yeah, they just kind of show up. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, and at the end of this, Max controls half of the world's oil reserves, and the Soviet Union is trying to invade Egypt. I think
they were like trying. I don't know. I'm like not sure, so like please don't quote me on this, but I think they were trying to like tie it into real life and like the oil issues in the 80s.
Yeah.
So,
which I can't say I know a lot about, unfortunately. I just think that with all of these plot lines running right now, that was a lot to like tie in. They should cut at least one plot point from this.
Yeah, definitely. There's just so much.
It's too much going on.
Yeah. It's like, what is that? It's like Chanel's like, take one thing off before you leave the house. Like
take one accessory off.
Take one part out of the movie before you put it to the theaters.
Yeah.
We're going to take a hopefully mid episode break and play our quiz game. I think we should do the one where we decide which Chris we're gonna be with.
Okay.
Not directly related to Wonder Woman, but I'd love to know if we'll be with Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, or
do you want to do the plan a date and find out which famous Chris will accompany you?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try to get Chris Pine here. I
want Chris Pine.
I know he's great. Let's try for him, but it'll be hard.
I don't know how, like, I don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know him very well either. I can't say I've met him. Okay. So this is from BuzzFeed. It's plan a date and find out which famous Chris will accompany you. Okay, 1. Where is the date located? How about you give me an answer and let's see if it's on here.
Okay. Like a park?
Okay. Somewhere outdoors.
Okay, yeah.
So what are we gonna wear to this date? You, me, and Chris. Which Chris? We don't know yet.
Can you give me, is it like a style, or is it like?
Yeah, like what? Just plan our outfits for us. Are we wearing the same thing?
Yeah, we'll twin. We can wear jeans, and that this like won't be in there, but that Hawaiian shirt that we both bought in cans. That's our outfit.
Okay, so
and like some, I guess, sneakers. I don't know.
So would you say
terrible outfit?
Would you say graphic T-shirt and jeans describes that? Okay. Okay, so what are we drinking?
Is it like alcohol or like anything?
It's everything.
Everything. I won't like it, but for you, we can do wine.
Are we doing
That's an option.
champagne or red wine?
Red.
Do you like red wine?
I don't like either of those options.
Okay, what's your main course?
Oh my God.
Do you want me to give you options for
Yes,
this one?
please give me options.
Okay, burgers, salad, steak. I'm just drinking TBH, chicken fingers, and something we've both never tried before. That's it. It's not an actual food. It's just something we both
Okay.
never tried.
I guess because you'll be there too, we can do salads.
That's so boring.
What you want? I mean, I guess you could do like a veggie burger, but I don't know, a burger.
What if we just drank?
Okay, we can just drink.
What's for dessert?
Anything that's not chocolate.
Okay, it could be any of those.
Oh, they're all not chocolate? Okay. Ice cream?
Ice cream to split, the three of us.
We just get a whole tub. Chris, obviously.
Well, we could split 50-50, but that wouldn't work with three of us. We could dine and dash. We could pay for our own meal. We could pay and he tips. He pays for all. He pays, you pay for tip. He pays for all, right? Or dine and dash.
No!
Come on.
He can pay for all of it.
Would you go on a second date?
Yes. With all of us. Who did we get?
Well, it's still really good. So
okay.
We got the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Evans.
Okay, that's fine.
Honestly, he would be my top pick if we weren't reviewing Wonder Woman right now. Chris Evans is the Chris for you. Smart and sensitive. This Chris would much rather keep the date personal than flashy and extravagant. Instead, he'd rather spend the night snuggling up and watching rom-com.
Watching
rom-com? It's just rom-com. There's no S at the end of it. Then at a stuffy restaurant.
Cool.
Can't wait to watch a rom-com with Chris.
I don't know how we got him though, because we didn't pick movie date or.
They're all in movies.
No, movie date. It says he'd like to watch rom-com.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we would have gotten Chris Hemsworth with a outdoorsy kind of thing, you know?
I know, but it was just one of our answers that was outdoorsy. The rest could have been honestly anyone.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this little quiz break. And now back to the movie.
Yes. They miraculously land in DC again. They go to this teacher's apartment, and he knows a lot about the stone. And he tells them that the stone has traveled around the world, specifically to civilizations that have collapsed catastrophically. So the threat is imminent here. They need to get on top of this before the world collapses. Yeah. Because the 80s is a little bit more globalized than before. They understand the stone now, and they get that it was made by Dolos, the god of lies and mischief. And if you wish for something, it takes away another thing of equal importance.
They keep using this monkey's paw reference, which I've never heard. Maybe it's really common and I'm just removed from society.
I've never heard that before either.
I don't know.
All I know is they should have compared it to King Midas, because that's all I know. You know how he's like, yeah. Oh, I wish that everything I touch could turn to gold, and then he turns his daughter into gold, and he's like, wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no, that makes more sense. And also that they can either give back their wishes or they have to destroy the stone. That's the other thing I don't get. Why couldn't they destroy the stone?
The stone didn't exist.
No, not them. Max. Not them. Before.
Oh.
In all these civilizations, why couldn't they just destroy it? They all got their wish already.
I don't know what they were up to.
I guess destroying the stone would get rid of all their wishes.
Or like maybe they died before they could do it because it wreaked havoc on their civilization.
But I thought they had, like, everyone was like, I'm not giving back my wish, and that's why they just kept collapsing.
I don't know.
Because like somehow they all knew that this is what they had to do.
I don't know. But I feel like if you were to trace back where these civilizations went wrong, you would not find a stone.
Well, obviously. Yeah, okay. So Diana's like, yeah, okay, like we need to give back our wishes. And Barbara's like, no way. And she gets the heck out of there.
That's such a Barb thing to do.
I know. Like, she's like, I want to be pretty. But like, the thing is, like, they don't get to choose what they lose. So like,
it was literally all her attitude that changed. And like, okay, yeah, she has super strength, but like that wasn't what she was complaining about before.
Yeah, yeah. You know, like the thing, like if she just like acted confident, she would gain confidence.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah, I wouldn't do that, but like I get how it works.
Honestly, she should have wished for a life coach.
That could have been good for her. But so while this is going on, Max keeps meeting with people, like any powerful person, any person really, and asking what they want. And then when he grants their wish, he like says what he's going to take from them. But he keeps getting really sick. So with each wish, he kind of loses some of his health, which is, I guess, the stone like working within him as well, like because he's getting these wishes from taking from people, and the stone is taking things from him, even though he is the stone, I guess. And basically everyone in the world is just going crazy because things are falling apart. And Steve and Diana are trying to figure out what to do, so they go back to her apartment, and Steve's like, you have to give me up, like this is what you have to do. And she's like, I'm not gonna lose you again. And we also see that she has this armor from someone in her ancient civilization. Basically this woman was left behind when the Amazons went to their island, and all of the Amazons gave her their armor to give her super armor to fight everyone in the world. And basically Diana's been looking for this woman ever since like Steve originally died. And she just only found her armor, which has wings. Yeah. So Max's like next thing that he wants to do is he wants to meet with the president, and like because he needs to reach more people because he's kind of like maxed out. Sorry. Like all of the people that he could get wishes from. So when Max goes to the president, he finds out about this broadcast thing that has particles that touches everybody in the world. So technically he's touching everyone at once, while they're like watching him on TV. There's also another subplot where like the president wants more nukes. Like, why is that your wish? Like, his wish is that they had more and
it's
more
such a
nukes.
Reagan thing to wish for.
Right? And then there's like this like Cuban Missile Crisis again, sort of. I don't know. That was just like another plot that just wasn't necessary. And then the world is falling apart again. So they're kind of fighting in the White House, sort of like people fighting in the Capitol.
Wait,
like
someone said that.
Week.
Have you seen that TikTok that's like Kristen Wiig like invading the White House and like fighting all of the officers in it? Someone said that's Caitlin Bennett storming the Capitol.
Oh my god, no. I didn't. Now that you said it, though, I'm sure it's gonna show up.
Oh, it's so funny. I'll send it to you later if I can find it.
So they're fighting in the White House, and Diana's really weak, and Barbara kind of has all of her power, and she protects Max from Diana, and then they kind of disappear, and they're going to go to that broadcast. It's like an island in the middle of nowhere. So Diana's like trying to figure out what's due, and Steve's like, you need to give me up. And that's like, it's, she like kisses him goodbye, and I get that it's supposed to be a touching moment, but I like really felt nothing.
I felt a little sad because I like Chris Pine a lot.
No, like I like them together, but I was just like, wow, like okay, like why didn't you give him up before?
Yeah. I just feel bad for Chris Pine because he keeps having to sacrifice himself for the greater good.
Yeah, that's true. Like that's exactly what he did last time.
Here he is again.
He's doing it in another movie. But yeah, I just like didn't feel anything, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. So then Diana has to go to this broadcasting place, right, by herself,
Yeah.
and she connects her lasso to a plane, but then ends up flying, so she can now fly. But it just doesn't make sense to me. But and at the same time, Max and Barbara are on a flight, and he says, like, you've proved your loyalty to me, now you can make another wish. And she wishes she could be like no one ever was, an apex predator.
Who says that? Who's like, I want to be an apex predator? What?
That's my goal in life, to become an apex predator.
And then
like that could entail so many things. Like, why
right.
can't she be specific?
I was thinking about this later on in the movie. Why does she pick to be what she is? But I guess maybe she didn't pick, or maybe she did pick. But like, why is it that she's a leopard or whatever? Like, why is that an apex predator? Like, I get that it's like a predator, but like, there are so many things. Like, why?
It just doesn't make sense.
And she just looks weird.
Like, okay, how are you gonna go? You want to be well liked, right? You want to be just like Diana. Okay, why did you
become a cat?
become a cat? It reminds me of when Hermione drinks the Polyjuice potion with cat hair.
Yeah.
She turns into a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that happened.
Sorry, I jumped ahead with that. We're still at the broadcast. We're like going to the broadcast station.
Okay, so Max is now broadcasting all over the world and asking people to make wishes. It cuts to scenes from all around the world. People are making wishes. How does everyone speak English?
And how does like everyone have a TV?
Yeah, like it does not make any sense. And so everyone's making their wishes and suffering the consequences of that. And all hell is breaking loose in the world. And Max's son, it cuts to him. He's at his office, not the son's office, Max's office, alone, pleading that his dad comes back. And then Wonder Woman now made it to Max's hideout after flying, and she's finally wearing some real armor, not a tiny little dress, a strapless dress. And it's actually what we were talking about earlier, the armor of the Amazon woman, the warrior Asteria.
Mm-hmm.
And Barbara is now a cheetah. I don't know why I said that with a British accent. Also, what a dumb name for a villain. Barbara, Barbie.
I know. But like her actual, it's like she's like, it's either like leopard or cheetah or whatever. Like, but that's the name, like the name of the cat.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's her. That's like a villain in the comics. It's her arch nemesis, Cheetah.
So unfortunate.
I know. Do you know that TikTok that's like, what's the tea? The girls are fighting. That's how I felt at the scene.
So while she's fighting Barbara, like she's just really getting destroyed. Like even though she has her powers back, Barbara's like, more powerful than her somehow, and just destroys this armor that's supposed to protect her from the entire world. But anyway, she then electrocutes Barbara in the water because now she can also control lightning and electricity. I don't know where all of these powers came from, where they've been for the last 60 years.
Yeah, because she's old. I
Like,
forgot about that.
oh, she's old. Yeah. I don't know. Like, why is it all of a sudden, you know? But she takes Barbara out of the water, places her to the side, um, and then she goes into the broadcast room to try and stop Max. But there's like a lot of wind, and I don't know why there's so much wind. He's still like talking to everyone in the world, but she somehow takes her lasso and wraps it around his ankle and has this monologue about like being a good person and all this stuff. And Max is like, "Oh, I don't care," but she's like, "I wasn't talking to you." And she was like broadcasting to the entire world by through her lasso touching Max. But she's just basically just tells everyone to renounce their wish. Which like I don't think would work. Like, first of all,
I mean, a lot of things wouldn't work
yeah.
to get this far.
And like then we see the whole nukes thing, and it's the one thing about the nukes though, like when they show Russia, no one is bothered. Like it's like nothing has happened. Like no one's made a wish and like nothing's gone wrong in Russia, which I found weird.
Also, like, who are they planning on nuking from Russia?
No, Russia's sending nukes to the US and the US is sending them to Russia.
I know, but do they have the capability? Did they have the capability at that time to send nukes from actual Russia? Because you have the
Yeah, St. Petersburg.
in the background.
I don't know. I'm not really sure how nuclear technology has developed. Maybe. But there are all these wishes, so maybe they just like wished for long range nukes.
I get one wish in the world, and it's for long range nukes.
Yeah, I don't know. But her lasso is also showing Max like his child and how his child is like freaking out, and he's like, "Where's my dad?" And his dad and like his child Alistair is just like running on the highway. I don't know how he gets to the highway.
Why did you run onto the highway?
It's very strange. And then Lord is finally like, "I renounce my wish," and then everyone else starts to renounce their wishes, and everything kind of either reverses or just like is destroyed. Then Lord and his kid like reunite. Somehow he immediately got back to his child.
Yeah, and he wasn't detained for his war crimes.
I don't know. And then all of a sudden it's Christmas. And everything is good and no one cares anymore. And this guy shows up
there's
out of
so much damage too from what he caused.
I know, but like, and I don't know how much was reversed and like how much just like went away.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in this Christmas village. It's snowing. Diana's there, and then this guy that was Steve but wasn't Steve and was originally this guy just shows up, and he's wearing an outfit that Steve had tried on, and it's like, ah ha ha, I like your outfit. And then Diana's flying again, and the movie's over.
Yeah.
And at the end, like, I don't know if you got this far because you were so like you didn't like it, but like towards the very, very end, after the credits, there's this scene where there's a woman walking through a street and something falls, but she catches it and she turns around and it's Asteria, but it's actually Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman. Which out of all the scenes of the movie, that was my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, it almost made up for the 2.5 hours of my life that I wasted.
Yeah. I thought that was like cute to like bring her back.
Yeah. I don't know. Like looking back on it, I feel like this movie was made for boys.
Really?
You know? Yeah. Why would they make her dress like that if this wasn't for the men?
I mean, it was all like, I don't know. Like, that is her outfit. Like, they're not gonna like change the classic Wonder Woman outfit.
They could have made her skirt just a little longer.
They could have done that,
Provide
but
some coverage for her,
at
or
least it
given
was
her.
made out of. Sorry, go ahead.
Or they could have also given her like some shorts too under the skirt. Instead, it's just straight like underwear,
But at least it's made out of metal.
not the undies.
Maybe they are.
They don't look like it.
Maybe it's like breathable metal.
I don't know. It's just like, how are you going to create a movie empowering women and then not provide any sort of like armor for the woman fighting bad guys?
But I mean, she has shin guards, knee pads, those wrist things.
Oh, those will really protect her from the literal bullets that are being fired at her.
Like, I guess because she's a god, whatever she is, she can move really fast and she's like superhuman. So
Yeah. But also she like, I feel like she wouldn't want to wear that. You know, I feel like she likes to, you know, she dresses a little more like modestly.
yeah, I guess like maybe it's because that was like her outfit even on the island. And like it was like the headband thing was from another ancient warrior, and
The headband is the least of my worries.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that this movie was made to appease the male gaze. You cannot
Well,
argue.
I mean, aren't all movies,
yeah.
to be honest, like,
But you're gonna disguise this movie as like a feminist movie.
I wouldn't call this a feminist movie.
Exactly, but they try to pass it off as one.
Do they?
Yeah. Like, just because the main character is a woman doesn't make it like a feminist movie. And like, think
Yeah.
about like all the sexism that the characters have to deal with in the movie that they just brush over.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
I wish this was, why do I say that? I feel like I say that a lot. Like, I wish this was better. Like, I had.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think cutting an hour or like 45 minutes out of this movie would have made it so much better.
Mm-hmm.
All the random powers, like, I don't think it was necessary. And like the beginning thing and other like plot lines, I don't know. It just didn't. It felt like too much.
The only way to have a woman hero in these movies is like for them to have superpowers, like insane superhuman strength to be able to defeat the bad guys. When you have like, think about Captain America, like he has one power really, and that's it. And he can do anything he wants with that. But for her, she has to have all of these things to be able to defeat like one person.
Yeah.
And I realize I'm mixing DC with Marvel. Okay, no one come for me. I hate you. Slightly disappointed.
Yeah.
If I were in college, I'd write an essay about this movie.
I'm taking a female, it's called Made to Kill, Female Violence in Film. I'm taking that class this semester, so
Interesting.
maybe I'll learn a thing or two and we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's fun.
We are both disappointed, I'd say, with this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know your thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984 or World War 84, as we dubbed it. If you want more from us, you can see our lovely faces on YouTube, or you can just hear our voices on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you may get your podcasts. Or you can check us out on Instagram at How We Never Podcast, or on Twitter at How Have We Never, or even on Facebook at How Have We Never Seen This Before.
And
And
TikTok.
TikTok. We did make a TikTok. I don't think there's anything on there yet.
No.
But when these episodes are up, there should be, because you'll be seeing us being weird and some highlights from our recordings. But anyway, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Peace out.